there. The elephant heard me tracking towards him, and he just gave a real low rumble. It's a noise that I recognize, so if I kept going forward, it would escalate to him actually threatening me. But unfortunately, it'll be a visual threat. He'll start flashing his ears, dropping his back, and swaying, all of which I wouldn't see because the grass is too long. So eventually he would be like, listen, I told you 5 times to go away. You didn't listen. That's when he'd charge. And in this grass, we don't want to be getting charges. Just heard another one over here, so we're just going to back out.
Wow. Endurance, no.
It's not safe to stay in the long grass, but it doesn't take me long to find a herd out in the open. See that male pestering this female? He wants to breed. He's got a big dark spot on his temporal lobe, and that is because he's starting to come into must. Now must is when the testosterone increases in his body and makes him extra aggressive. It helps him defend his females from the other males in the herd. It's terrible for the people that have to work here because a must bull is a dangerous, dangerous animal. And the situation that ends up in the most deaths is when a bull gets into a village. But for me, this is a great opportunity to see the elephants out in the open. They come here seeking shade because much of their habitat has been destroyed to satisfy the world's thirst for tea. More than 10 years ago, the forest covered India by approximately 20%, and now it's down to 4%. Along with that, there's 1 billion people that live here in India. These guys are having their habitat destroyed all over this country to a point where they've got nowhere else to live. So during the day, they take refuge inside the tea estates where they can find shade to rest in. I know from reports that, like this female, the man-eater was mother to a young calf.
That's a good job, baby.
Elephants have strong family ties and are intensely protective of calves who stay with their mothers well into their teenage years. Now this tea isn't any good for them nutritionally. So for them to get any food, they have to leave the tea estate. And to do that, they have to stomp their way right through villages. With nowhere to go, there are no winners in this tragic story where elephants are not only battling against people, but also against their own kind. These 2 elephants here are called the kunkies.
Wow,
They've been trained to chase wild elephants. There's a village right here. These are all village people around. A bunch of long grass. The elephants are hanging out, but they're actually in the middle of a big tea plantation. Kunkies can only carry their trainer and a guard armed with salt pellets designed to frighten rather than harm the elephants. I have to follow on foot. The villagers do not like the wild elephants around because on their way through the tea gardens, they take their crops, they smash their houses down, and they kill people. I can hear tons of aggressive noises from elephants, but I can't see them. I have no idea if they're going to turn on us. Our second camera crew is able to film a bird's eye view of the unfolding drama. But down here, I can't see a thing. It's scary. You can see everything's just smashed over. Now this isn't one of their crops, but you can imagine if it was, there'd be nothing left. The amount of destruction that wild elephants do in a short period of time, this big space, bigger than 2 football fields, is probably about 3 hours worth of work. This is a very dangerous situation. If we get left without these elephants as support, without the firearms, we're dead ducks. This is going to be one of the most dangerous things I can think of doing. There's elephants close by, and I can't see anything. The cookies have pushed the herd out into the tea.
哇，它出来在这里，你看。
Interesting. Oh, wild elephants, wild elephants.
哇，那么大。
Up into the forest up there. Everybody around here has told us that this works to get them out of the way. But the minute the cookies go, they're back in the village. Depleted forests no longer provide enough food for the wild elephants. So they have no choice but to raid crop fields from the farms and settlements around the tea gardens. The cookies are outnumbered 14-1 and have little hope of directing the herd. So when wild elephants are seen heading toward the village, workers take matters into their own hands to protect their property. Look at these kids. Sirens going off. Elephants all over the place. They live here. This is every day for them.
Wow.
There's about 10 down there. And there's these 3 trying to herd up with them. When elephants are scared, they herd together. If you look out here, as far as my eye can see, there's no safety for these guys. In fact, the only place that
那个牛啊，有牛的。
The cookies and the panicked villagers are inadvertently working against each other, driving the confused herd apart. Now separated from one another, the herd begins to panic. The situation is now critical.
There's a recipe for death. This herd's been pushed for the last half an hour. The cookies are all over the place. There's kids all over the place. There's fireworks all over the place. An animal this smart will eventually feel like, well, God gave me this size for a reason.
它好累啊，
And they'll turn around and use all their physical
一
strength
直饱
and
啊。
just start killing people.
Wild elephants are normally quite calm, but when pressed, an angry elephant is capable of unimaginable violence.
This place is a madhouse. It's like a scene out of Platoon. There's just stuff happening everywhere. We're in a terrible situation now. They split the herd, and they're spinning in circles. They're so scared. There's babies getting falling behind. The babies are getting tired. Mom's coming back to protect them. Now that's the danger. These kids have got no idea how dangerous that is. That elephant will have them in seconds.
哎呦，好可怜哦，它要杀嘛，它用那个砰砰砰那个。
Like the man-eater, this elephant has a calf. Her raised tail means she's about to charge. She'll do whatever it takes to protect her baby.
All right, we're out here. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Get in the car. Stop. Get in. Go.
A danger to humans. And villages on the edge of the tea estate suffer the worst consequences. I'm going to Kalabari. Here in the face of adversity, the daily routine carries on. What's strange is how normal it is. And people continue to pray to the elephant-headed god Ganesh for protection. Even in the knowledge that this incarnation has a ruthless side. As many people here, like Saraswati Sharma, know only too well. Less than a year ago, her family was literally torn apart.
It was a full moon day. And her husband took her son out for the toilet. After some time, she also came out. It was dark and she couldn't see anything.
Before she knew it, she was attacked. She regained consciousness to be confronted by a waking nightmare.
Can you imagine this? Middle of the night.
晚上要吃饭呢。
And this happens to your house?
Saraswati's memory of that night is understandably hazy. But neighbors witnessed the chillingly calculated attack and helped me piece it together.
Saraswati comes out of her house looking for her husband and son.
花红是水饺，晚上要吃
Thrown
饭。
30 feet, left unconscious.
他也很凶哎哈，你看。
The husband picks up the son and tries to make a break.
for a house over there.
你看，
Even in his full sprint, he's not going to outrun an elephant. The elephant catches him somewhere around here, picks him up, throws him against a tree. Somehow the son ends up over here.
也有
The elephant comes over, steps on his neck.
好像有一个小东西。哦，
The only thing that saved Sarasoti's life was the fact that she was unconscious.
He's her husband. And this is the son who was killed. This is the...
Oh my God.
This is the father. This is the son. Elephant stepped on his back, on his thigh, and on his chest.
Just an awful thing that happened to you. I'm very sorry.
1 minute, I'm looking at photographs of her happy family, and the next, I'm shown graphic images of her dead husband and son.
Boy, that's pretty horrible.
It's completely floored me.
I couldn't imagine what it'd be like to live through something like that. That is really the most gruesome thing I've ever seen.
There's no doubt in my mind that these elephants are not acting out of fear, but are driven by rage. It's an opinion shared by two leading authorities.
看他有的杀人呢，他杀人用压
So
的，
elephants are
用
obviously
脚
very
压
intelligent,
的。
very complex creatures with high levels of cognitive abilities.
Professor Raman Sukumar is the world's leading authority on Indian elephants.
They seem to really know what humans are and what humans can do to them. They obviously become very wary of humans. You know, when they enter into cultivation, it's not that they are sort of walking about randomly and trying to see what they can get. But elephants are also becoming aggressive in the process, because an elephant that is harassed and sometimes injured, there are many instances of such elephants going berserk and killing people. But those are really aberrations.
The conflict between people and elephants seems to be directly related to habitat loss.
Alexandra Zimmerman has studied the human-elephant conflict.
It's not a slow progression of the less habitat you have, the more conflict you have. It doesn't sort of slowly rise. There's a tipping point. There's a point where the habitat just isn't good enough anymore, and when suddenly conflict gets a whole lot worse.
The only solution I can see is to keep humans and elephant families apart. But how? To find out, I'm going to meet a team who put their lives on the line every night. And I'll be going on
因
patrol
为
with
很
them.
多人傻大，都因他也生气，他又去杀
On a
人。
reign of terror.
哎，
面对挑战，你做足准备了吗？
In the heart of a deadly conflict between people and animals. India's population is 1.3 billion and growing faster than any other country on earth. This unstoppable force is now competing for living space with its largest creature.
要搬家，他们要搬
In
家，你
northern
看，
India, once vast
对，
swaths
因为
of
在那边
forest
很多那个
fell, creating zones where conflict with elephants
很危险呐，对，很危险，很多大象的。
into the region where skirmishes
你
claim
看很
lives
多在那个
on an
地方，
almost daily basis. I'm heading to the town of
对呀、
Pembunuh. Here, there's a team who are trying to defuse the dispute by attacking its very core.
We're going to find the elephant squad. Now, these guys are basically trying to keep the peace in this elephant-human conflict. And they go out on a daily basis, and they're trying to protect the villagers from the elephants, but also the elephants from the villagers.
Hello, how are you? Good day. Oh, okay. Being a member of the elephant squad is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world.
Just sit around and wait for a desperate villager to call, saying there's an elephant here, and they need help. Tonight, the guys have agreed to let me come along with them and be part of the elephant patrol.
There are no instruction manuals that tell you how to police these conflicts. These guys have to learn on the job, and they have to learn fast.
Shortly after nightfall, a call comes in that a village is under attack.
ไปจีกันตามมาอยู่เหมือนกัน
An air of tension. They're ready for whatever's gonna come. The information we have is sparse. When we get to the village on the edge of the tea estates, the squad will maneuver themselves between the people and the elephants and try to minimize any conflict. I'm gonna stick with them. When we arrive, it's eerily deserted. The villagers must be protecting their crops from the elephants.
โอ้มันต้นนักโกโก้
We hear a commotion ahead. I've just been given word there's 4 elephants up here. Oh yeah, I see them in the backlight there. See them in the backlight. See them, look at the backlight right there. So you can see the elephants are getting all chased right at us right now. They're getting chased out of one village, but into this one. They're coming straight for us. Look, we're super close, so all of people on our crew, stay close to the camera, please. And so this is the situation where someone's going to die. The shrubs are high enough where it can hide an elephant there. The elephant's pissed, you wouldn't know it, and he'd come right up and scrap somebody. In the last year, 200 people in India were killed by elephants. And I can be sure that they weren't all chasing them, so these guys are definitely high risk. Just ahead of us, chaos awaits. All hell's broken loose.
抓到一个
This is absolute suicide right now.